It's like walking through a photograph of summer 2005. Life was supposed to go on, life was going on, but it all just stopped one day.
Hurricane Katrina is now designated a Category 5 hurricane.
It was a feeling of like pure terror.
In 2005, Hurricane Katrina, one of the most famous hurricanes of all time, struck New Orleans, and almost 20 years later, the scars are still healing. One scar in particular that still stands as a monument to this storm is featured in the documentary Closed for Storm, produced by Jake Williams of the YouTube channel Bright Sun Films.
There's a character in the documentary that sort of sits behind the scenes, sort of the lurking bad guy.
Yeah, well, Katrina's kind of the antagonist, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone has Katrina stories that lived in southern Louisiana. And Six Flags New Orleans is kind of the last monument of Katrina.
Katrina caused an estimated $150 billion in damage across New Orleans, and the rebuilding efforts over the last 2 decades have been immense. And yet, Six Flags New Orleans was not rebuilt or torn down. Instead, it's been left alone, and it's being reclaimed by the wetlands that surround it.
That's the intriguing part about abandoned places, right? You have something that used to be so popular, so filled with life and joy, and then you have the stark contrast of what's there now.
Physically, if you walk the park itself outside, it really didn't look that bad. It's when you went into the actual facilities that you saw the level and the extent of the damage.
This is a genuine reminder of what Katrina was. And around New Orleans, you don't really see that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see water lines, you don't see that kind of damage anymore. And Six Flags New Orleans that's like a living photograph of what happened that day. The perseverance of the citizens of New Orleans is not something that, you know, can be understated. You know, people were given the worst possible situation, like genuinely, and these people pick themselves up and again put themselves back together.